Hi students, it's Mr. Nech, and today I'm going to talk about graphing with the x and y intercept and using data tables and this thing called a standard form. So let's just jump right into our homework. Number 20 wanted you to find the x and y intercepts. You do that by looking at the data table. So when y was 0, x is negative 2. That's what the x-intercept means. When y is 0, it hits the x bar at negative 2. And then the y-intercept was 0, 2. Number 22 is the same thing. You would look at your data table, x-intercept 8, 0, y-intercept 0, 4. Number 24, you were given this equation. Now you don't have to do anything with it because we're graphing using x and y intercepts. And our strategy is to set x equal to 0. Well, you have the choice. You can do x or y first. I usually do x first. So we set x to 0 and solve for y. So how does that look like? 0 times negative 3 is 0. There's y. I'm going to do plus y to get it by itself and positive. So y is 5. And don't forget to, 5 is not, it's a point, 0, 5, because it's the y-intercept, because y is 5 when x is 0. Then we, part 2, set y equal to 0. We get 5 minus 0 equals negative 3x. Divide by negative 3, we get x is negative 5 thirds. And negative 5 thirds is in between negative 1 and negative 2. Then we plot our 2 points and we graph a line. Number 26, we have this equation in standard form, and we have to graph it using x and y intercepts. So set x to 0, solve for y. You get y is 4. Boom, 0, 4, plot it. 0, 4. There it is. Then we're going to solve for the other intercept. Set y equal to 0, and then solve for x. So x is also 4. And then 4 zeros over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And then we graph our line. Let's take a look at number 28. Same concept. We're going to set x to 0, solve for y. That cancels out. Y is 8. Reported as an intercept. Set y equal to 0, solve for x. So we have 0 equals 8 minus 6x. Plus 6x as a term to this side. There he is. 6x should equal 8. I have a typo. And then we divide by 6, and x shall equal 6 divided by 8. This is correct, but this is a typo. Our x-intercept is correct, 6 over 8, comma 0, and then we graph it. Give you a moment to catch up. Number 30, you are given y equals 4. And when I'm given these simple equations, I translate the equals to is. So I say y is negative 4. So when pick 3 numbers. X is 0, y is negative 4. X is 1, y is negative 4. X is 2, y is negative 4. Then you have to plot those points and graph. All right, now we have number 32. This was switching to the data table. So 3x equals y. My favorite 3 numbers, I picked 4 just to go a little extra. My favorite 3 numbers are usually negative 1, 0, and 1. And if I don't want to deal with the negative, I do 0, 1, and 2. And then you got to plug them into the x. So we assume the x, plug them in, and then find the corresponding y. So if x is negative 1, y is negative 3. If x is 0, y is 0. If x is 1 times 3 is 3. If x is 2 times 3 is 6. Plot, and you have a line. Number 34 was a little bit tricky, but I want to challenge you to big brain it using algebra and language arts together. So we're going to assume x is negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. I could have picked better numbers, but those are the ones I picked. So bear with me. If x is negative 1 over here, 10 minus something was negative 1. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. Think about it. Because you have $10 and you have to spend 11 to be in negative 1. Well, how much do you have to spend to owe me $2 or negative 2? Well, that would be 12. And then how do I make a negative 3 on the x side? 10 minus something is negative 3. 10 minus 13 is negative 3. If those numbers were challenging, go ahead and pick values for y. So you could have said if y is 11, 10 minus 11 is negative 1. If y is 12, and then so forth. I don't think it's too hard. Let me know if it is, text me. And then we plot our 3 points and go. So for number 36, what we look for to be linear, we have to have all of our x's have no exponents, and we can't have an x or a y, and this goes for the y too. If y's have exponents, it's nonlinear. And we can't have x or y in the denominator of a fraction, because that's technically a negative exponent, and I'll explain that later. So 36 is no, because you have a y in the denominator. It makes like one of these lines, like or like it's curvy. It's not linear. 37 is yes, and you have to put into standard form, which means ax plus by, or number y equals constant, like some number x, some number y, and so on. So here we go. But you can't have fractions. So the idea is to kill the fraction using a multiplier of 6, because 2 times 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times x is 3x. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 2 times 2 is still 4y. Then you have to put into standard form, minus 4y, boom, and you're good to go. 3x minus 4y is 60. For number 38, yes, it's linear, and you have to put into standard form, and I'll give you a minute to try on your own. Number 39 is in standard form, and we just have to subtract this b unit, and then, oh, I found a typo. So minus b, we have 3a minus 2, because the b's cancel out, equals 0. Then we do plus 2, and we get 3b equals 2, and that is in standard form. Number 40 was a no, because you had a trinomial, and you had a t unit here and a t unit here. And then number 41 is a yes. We have to put into standard form, which means get rid of the fractions. Multiply everything by 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 12 times negative 5 is negative 60. Okay? So then what do? Here's the equal sign. It has to be in standard form. I know it's annoying, but you have to put in standard form or they'll take points off, which means number variable minus number variable equals constant. So that's why I did minus 8. All right, here's a recap. To find an x to find an x-intercept, set y equal to 0 and solve for x. And then don't forget to report it as a coordinate. So when you solve for x and you get x is 3, you got to tell me 3 parentheses 3 comma 0. Same thing for the y. You set x to 0, solve for y, and report it as a coordinate. Graphing with data tables is easy. These are my 4 numbers. You only have to pick 3. So you pick 3 numbers as you feel, or any 3 that simplify your life, and get the other values that correspond to it, plot and graph. And then don't forget that standard form is number with the variable x plus number variable y equals constant. And you can't have a negative here. So if we had negative 2x plus 3b equals 10, you had to multiply everything by negative 1 to make it 2b minus 3b equals negative 10, because this is a positive ax. All right, if you have any questions, you have my number, and good luck.